Yo, quick video. I want to talk about these annoying ass Meruem fanboys. Like, a lot of y'all are high key getting on my nerves with this Meruem dick riding. And a lot of these sayings about Meruem, a lot of it is just narrative that was created by fanboys. It's never been stated by the author or the narrator inside the manga. For example, people say Meruem, even before Rose, the Rose, pre-Rose Meruem was like the comparable of strength, which that's harsh crap. It's never been stated by the author. The closest statement we got from that is like poof when he said he was comparable of strength, but that's what Poof said. That's not what everybody else said in the manga, or the narrative, or the narrator didn't say that, and the author didn't say that. In fact, there's 5 other nin users that's stronger than Netero. They're more powerful than Netero, and what people ain't taking account is, especially these Meruem fanboys, Ant King fanboys, is that Netero was putting in some work on Meruem. Yes, Meruem was on another level compared to Netero when it came to raw nin, but Netero was actually putting in some work. It's just that the Chimera ants, they have a lot of durability. And I like how people skip the fact that Netero made Meruem bleed, like on his first attack, because of a drop of blood. And then he had to amp himself up with aura just to fight Netero. That tells me he couldn't really beat Netero without using his aura. Netero was damaging Meruem internally. Meruem was feeling pain. He was starting to ache, which the narrator stated, even though it took him like thousands of strikes just to do it. And Netero used his best attack, zero hand, and people like to undermine that fact, undermine his feat, to say it was just a few scratches on him, even though it wasn't really a few scratches on it. It was some cuts on him, and those cuts were kind of deep. Like, look at his tail. Look how deep the cuts are in his tail. Look at his body. Look at his legs. Look how deep the cuts were. They're not super deep, but they were deep. They were at least somewhat deep. And you have hunters that are more powerful than Netero. So if Netero is able to put some damage on him like that, you can only imagine how much damage that the top 5 nin users can put on Meruem. And people, they trying to act like they forgot about beyond Netero, and it's kind of implied that he might be above Netero. Now, if it's the old Netero or the prime Netero, is debatable, but I believe he's above prime Netero. And if that's the fact, yo, Meruem, this dude getting one-shotted, or at least 2 or 5-shotted. Something gonna happen. He beat Meruem, because you can debate prime Netero can probably one-shot Meruem, at least pre-Rose Meruem, because there's a feat in that movie, that HxH movie. I think it's the second one, where he used his, I think it was his 99 hand, but it created a huge explosion similar to the Rose bomb. Just saying, something to think about. That tells me that Prime Netero would have beat Meruem low diff. And it's arguable that Beyond Netero scales higher than Prime Netero. The same goes for the other top 5 nin users. Jing is up there too. So one of the biggest reasons why Meruem seemed OP because he wouldn't fight nobody. Let him fight the right person. He catch the fade. And then you have the dark continent. Like, you Meruem fanboys, man. Y'all bugging. Y'all straight bugging. Even though the Chimera ants are classified as B class, a B class threat, y'all still trying to say that Meruem, he's the strongest thing in the HxH universe. Even though that narrative has been debunked by the Dark Continent. That's beings in the Dark Continent, there are like A to S class. Most people die when they go to the Dark Continent. You have to be really strong. And to be honest, I think the Dark Continent, there's like different levels. Like you have like the low level, the middle level, then the high level. I think most people die on the low level, barely getting inside the Dark Continent. Like, I'm not trying to hear y'all can come up with all these excuses. I've been debating these guys for the longest, and they won't take Meruem's tail out their asshole. They got this dude's tail in their mouth, deep open. Like, come on, man. Y'all's a bunch of sluts and whores for Meruem. Get his tail out your mouth. Now, if y'all would have said he has the best feats, the highest feats out of everybody in the universe, I would actually give you that. But to say that he's like the strongest, that's completely bullcrap. Let's keep it a buck. If Togashi didn't have his health problems, we probably would have been over. The Dark Continent probably would have been over like 3 years ago. We'll probably be on like 3 arcs, 2 to 3 arcs past the Dark Continent. You see, we're just now getting inside the HxH universe. We're just starting to see the power. Like, the feats goes higher in the Dark Continent, and it could potentially be levels to that shit in the Dark Continent. And who's to say after the Dark Continent, the power scale goes even higher? That's why I disagree when people say, "Oh, the HxH universe is a weak shonen." It doesn't scale to other animes, which I totally disagree. Yo, HxH in his own right is mad OP. It may not be top tier in the power scaling, but it's at least mid tier. No, don't say that HxH is like weak. Nah, man, forget all that noise. How? If they can turn a piece of paper into a weapon and make it slice through concrete like butter, them using 10, you might as well say that's kind of like Susanoo, because guns don't work on them like bullets. A sword don't work on them. Bazookas don't work on them because they're protected by their aura. You have to have a lot of raw power behind your swing, or you have to have it engulf in aura itself to cause damage. But back to this Meruem thing, man. Y'all need to chill with all this Meruem stuff, man. Y'all really getting on my nerves. And what pisses me off is that people think that Gon is not on Ant King level, which literally doesn't make sense because of the narrative of the story, the narrative of the chapter, and the narrative of the anime. Gon and Killia, they have a lot of potential, especially Gon. He used the Nen contract and made some sacrifices. Like, you saying after all that and based on the potential of this character, you saying that he's still not even at least on the Ant King level? Like, come on, man. Stop it. Stop it. people want to argue that, oh, in the manga, Pito was like, Gon's aura was enormous. In the anime, Gon has the potential to be a threat to the Ant King. His teeth to sink in inside the Ant King. That's basically saying that he's a threat, a lethal threat. So you might well say he's on the Ant King level. And even if you use the manga, you might as well say that Gon's on Meruem's level, because Pito is a royal guard. If you got a royal guard, talking about that aura is enormous, while sweating bullets and being worried that that person might try to pull up on the Ant King, you might as well say that person is on the Ant King level. You might as well say it. People want to play word games and shit, man. Come on, stop it. Call a spade a spade. If it sounds like a duck, crack like a duck, walk like a duck, then 9 times out of 10, it's a duck. So stop saying stuff like he's rivaling that. Stop it. He's equal to him in power. And to be honest, if Gon fought the Ant King, he would have the advantage in physical strength because he's an enhancer. And people want to use the fact that Gon had his arm taken off. Yo, that's squash, man, because y'all forgetting the fact that Pito came back after death, and then gets stronger after death. So this is a Pito with a Zenkai boost, and Pito managed to cut off Gon's arm. And here's the thing about that: that's debatable, because Gon was in the same position just right before Pito launched at him to try to do him in on a sneak attack like a sucker. Gon saw Pito coming. Gon anticipated it, and then he managed to dodge while his back was turned. So you saying that Gon couldn't do the same thing in this scenario? Why couldn't Gon do the same thing? In my opinion, Gon let Pito take his arm off intentionally because of the guilt. He told Killia it was okay, because now I'm like, Kaito. Even after the Chimera Ant arc, Gon was still sort of guilty. He was guilty about Kaito. See, people are not taking the psychological to the account. And even after losing an arm, he still manhandled Pito like it's nothing. Lightweight, low diff, and finished Pito off. So that tells me he should be on the Ant King level. And let's say Pito double or triple, that's equivalent to Poof and Yuppie giving their power to Meruem. So if we're gonna be honest and down and dirty, Gon might be able to see Rose Meruem. And even if you don't agree with that, he will at least be able to see Meruem pre-Rose Meruem in a fight. And people try to undermine again by saying Pito was tanking Gon's attacks. How? Houseway. Gon basically one-shotted Pito. That kick that sent Pito in the air, that basically one-shotted Pito. See, those jerking fists, that was just for pleasure, man. Let's just keep it a buck. That was just for pleasure. Kept pounding Pito face in. And you know at the end of the day, he could have just got rid of Pito in one strike. Pito couldn't even move after that kick. So how the fuck did Pito was eating and taking his punches? Like, come on, stop it. But this is all I got to say, man. This time, it really is. You Meruem fanboys need to stop. He'd get dropped by Gon. End of discussion. I ain't even trying to hear it. I'm out.